Hello and welcome to the Right Now Oregon Show. I'm your host, Alex McCadden. You can find all episodes of this program, as well as breaking news updates, more great Oregon podcasts, and editorials from Beaver State thought leaders online at www.rightnoworegon.com. Thanks for tuning in to today's show. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you're running for and which party.
My name is Andrew Morrison. I am running for House District 48. It's boring Damascus, a little bit of Happy Valley, Gresham, and Southeast Portland. And I think that's it.
So what do you do professionally, and do you have any public service background?
Yes and yes. So I am, by trade, I'm a software executive for the West Coast. I run a sales division for a software security company for the West. And my wife and I are small business owners. As far as public service, so volunteer service, I was the vice chair of the Legacy Health Foundation at Mount Medical. I'm on the Government Affairs Committee for the East County Chamber, Gresham Chamber Board. I was the finance chairman for the City of Damascus and city councilman for City of Damascus. Youth sports coach on a couple nonprofit boards in the area as well.
Now, can you tell us a little more about your life story up to this point?
I suppose it's been relatively uneventful. I grew up in Gresham. Parents are married 55 years, still in Gresham, are wonderful grandparents to our 5 kids, 3 grown and 2 younger, and went out to Warner Pacific College and Portland State University and joined the tech sector in sales, then moved into management and then executive leadership. I am a multi-sport athlete. I have a background in music. I play piano, trumpet, guitar, and I sing. I've got a background in Christian rock music. I started a band called Cutlass my senior year of high school, and with some members who are still plugging away at the band. I always joke. I say I'm the Stuart Sutcliffe of Cutlass, if you know that Beatles reference. So the non-famous one. So, but ultimately had just served my community, not aiming for any position in House District 48 or really anything else. It's what my folks did. They were on church boards and sports coach and den mother. I mean, they were just very active in the community, and that was just modeled for me. And it's what we do as Morrisons in the area, and just kind of led into this. I've got a pretty good financial mind, pretty sound leadership, and I'm just unwilling to move out of our state because of the tragedy that has happened in our leadership today. So my parents instilled in me that if you're unhappy with something, change it yourself. So that's what I'm doing.
Can you tell us more about your community of Damascus?
So Damascus is very unique. We became a city around just after 2002, and we became a city because the metro urban growth boundary had expanded in its largest exercise of growth ever, and it really spooked a lot of folks. And whether you agree with the city being a city or staying a city or not, in theory, I think a lot of folks said we want to say in the development of this community, because they're looking north at Gresham and Southeast Portland, and they've seen what metro regional creep and UGB expansions have done to communities. In short, they've completely eviscerated them. They've ruined the economic increase. They have pushed TriMet initiatives out into these areas, and with TriMet comes crime. That is a statistical certainty, inarguable. And Damascans said, we want to say in this. We want to become a city. Now, a lot of things happened since then, and again, whether you agree or not, it was really to throw the thumb at Portland Creek, and I think as a concept, it was a great idea. So Damascans are very proud of their land. There's a lot of farmland out here. There's a lot of folks who moved out of the city to have a little slower paced life. We're very close to the city if we need to be, but we're just really hardworking people. It's just one piece of my district, though. I grew up in Gresham and went to school in Southeast Portland, went to church in Southeast Portland. And that's a different economic group. It's also a hardworking group, wonderful people in that district. Socioeconomics are a little more diverse, and I think they also have lost their voice as well in Oregon. They don't have advocacy anymore. They have somebody who's propped them up as a tool, I feel, and they've lost their voice as well. So I think somebody who's not just living in their district, someone who grew up in their area, who's still in their district, who can advocate for them, who doesn't get involved in some of the social grandstanding that we've seen just waste our state away. So I love my entire district, north, south. It's a great district.
As you campaign, which issues are you hearing from Oregonians they would like the state legislator from HD 48 to focus on?
I think first and foremost, it's livability and affordability. As I drive into the north area of my district, it's nothing but tents and zombie RVs, and it's tragic. It's not where people want to be. They don't want to be in the RVs necessarily, but they certainly don't want them in their community. They don't want a city that has forgotten about them, a county that has forgotten about them, a state that's forgotten about them. And so the number one, in the hierarchy of needs, it's livability and affordability. As you saw, we had the largest tax increase in Oregon history, $4.3 billion that was rifled down the throats of Oregonians. About 98% of Republicans oppose it. About 80% of Democrats oppose it. And that's a bipartisan voice coming out of the people saying, no more, we can't afford this. You're seeing community center bonds failing. You're seeing safety bonds failing. You're seeing educational bonds and levies failing and falling completely flat when they're voted on. And that's not that we hate education or we hate community centers. It's that we simply can't afford this anymore. We can't go forward by trying to tax ourselves into prosperity. Government has ruined it. Government, certainly, in the words of Reagan, is the problem. And we need to start to deregulate. We need to start to peel back the apparatus of the government and get out of the way of the people. Number two is public safety. When you have crime and when you have a lack of affordability and livability, you've got crime increase. So I think we've done an okay job at kind of putting back the funding engine of the police, but I think better training, better PPE for fire is very important. Public safety is huge, and we're seeing public safety bonds and levies fail. That is one of the most common universal government services that even the people are saying, we can't even do this. We can't even afford this. So this is really important as well. And then education. Not only do we lack the proper, I'm not going to say the proper funding because there's plenty of money. There's too much money going into education. That's a common misnomer, that there's not enough money. It's where the money is going. It's how the money is used. I think that our teachers and our students are short-shrifted every single day that they have to go to work and go to school. We are the seventh highest funded educational state, and we're the fifth worst. At one point, we were the first worst. We were fourth last year. We're fifth this year. We are failing completely in the educational world, and it's not for lack of money. We're throwing as much money as we possibly can at the education of our state, and our children are coming out dumber, and it's so sad. So education is number three.
Who would you say is your favorite Oregon historical figure?
Probably my grandfather. He was the mayor of Springfield, and my family is very proud of him. He's the only politician that I know of that is in my family. I would say a close second would be our former Secretary of State, who's since passed. I think that so many great things were done and unfortunately it passed away prematurely. But those two would be my main.
Next up, what are the primary sources of your personal values?
It's very clearly my faith. I I owe everything to my God. It's something that I hold dearly, and it's something that's very important to me when leading. I don't get my I don't get my moral backbone from my parents. I don't get my moral compass from myself and my feelings about things or my feelings about what's right and wrong. Um, to be honest, I don't trust man's moral bearing. I feel that there has to be a higher power, and to me, that's Christ. And because of that, I am empowered to help my fellow man. I'm empowered to make sure that men and women everywhere have the ability to worship freely, to build a business freely, to vote freely. I know this is pretty altruistic and broad, but it's really important that I'm carrying out my values, my faith values, when I'm in office, and that's going to be a check and a balance for me. I don't wake up every day and think, how can I make the most money? How can I grandstand the biggest and make sure that everybody knows my name? I think about, how can I help somebody who's struggling? I've struggled. Most of us have, and it's really important that I'm making sure that if I'm leading, if I'm making a difference, that I'm carrying out my faith. And that is distilled down to two things: loving God and loving people. And if I'm loving people the way my faith empowers me to and calls me to do, then I'm doing a really good job in office. And I'm not forcing my faith onto anybody. I'm sharing my faith in hopes that they can have the same strength and the same hope that I do every day.
Next up, it's time for my world famous lightning round. First off, ducks or beavers?
Without a shadow of a doubt, beavers.
Awesome. Favorite Oregon landmark on the west side?
Hmm. It'd have to be Haystack Rock. I grew up, at the beach. We had an RV, growing up, and a tent trailer, and my parents always took us out there. And of course, the Goonies. I'm a huge Goonie fan. So Haystack Rock is the first thing that comes to mind.
Nice. All right. What's your favorite landmark on the east side of the state?
Multnomah Falls reminds me of my
Mhm.
grandpa. He would always take me out there. We would hike up there, and I've hiked up and down Multnomah Falls with my boys many times. Just a lot of memories there.
All right. What is your favorite Oregon beverage?
Boy, I don't know. Maybe some sort of kombucha or something natural. We're my wife and I are super into fermented vegetable. We ferment our own vegetables. We can our own vegetables. When I'm on conference calls, I'm usually canning or fermenting or cleaning. I can't sit in front of a screen. I'll get too distracted. So I'm always walking around doing laundry and cleaning and fermented veggies and fermenting things like that. So probably like a kombucha if I'm gonna pick a beverage. But we're big foodies and pretty into health as well.
Awesome. What would be your favorite Oregon food?
Oh man, probably probably blueberries or hood strawberries. A lot of good memories picking berries with my mom and my sister. We'd go out on summer days, and I absolutely love berries. So have to be strawberries or blueberries.
Now, how can voters get in touch with you?
Go to the website, andrewmorrisonfororegon.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. My contact info goes right to me. I'm the one who answers all the inquiries. I'm happy to talk on the phone. I love talking to folks. I can't wait to come and knock on your door. But I'm an open book. I'm not doing this for me. I'm not doing it for the money. It doesn't actually pay very well. I'm doing it for all of those in my district. And really, this is a bigger picture race because this is the second most flippable district in Oregon. And it's time that we need to flip some districts. I think that both Democrats, Republicans, and independents, unaffiliated voters have had enough. And I think it's time to pass the baton to a different party in leadership, and really allow common sense politics to drive fiscal responsibility. So I'm an open book, and I welcome people coming to me and telling them how I can help them. Although I think the best way to answer that back is to say, you know what, the best help is coming from you and me making sure nobody's standing in your way in government.
Do you have any final thoughts for our audience?
Just to harp on the fact that again, it's the second most flippable district in Oregon. If you're going to focus any attention on it's fun to see the governors run. I am super excited for our candidates who have thrown in. I cannot wait to see that leadership change. We absolutely have a queen in office who does not listen to anyone. But I think the low-hanging fruit are the three most flippable districts that we're focusing on. I'm ranked number 2, and we're always trying to kill the king. Pardon my nomenclature there, but we are always trying to take out the king, and really, I think the most bang for our buck for our time spent is going to be targeting those 3 districts. If we flip 3 districts, we take their supermajority away, and then we put them on notice. Their current leadership, we put them on notice. If we flip 6, then we take the House, right, which will bring back some real accountability. Doesn't give us a whole heck of a lot of power as Republicans. I think it's important to restore the balance, and that's my slogan. But I'm really calling Oregonians to focus on these House races to make an easier difference in the legislature and Oregon leadership.
Thanks again for joining us on this episode of the Right Now Oregon Show. This has been your host, Alex McCadden. You can find all episodes of this program, as well as breaking news updates and more great Oregon podcasts and editorials from Beaver State thought leaders online at rightnoworegon.com. Until next time, Oregon.